All right. Welcome, everybody. Man. All right. Sorry about that bit of a wait. I'm 2 beers deep, so life is good. Okay. Sometimes when I hit the refresh button, that the whole thing quits. Like, all right, canceling your stream, can never start again. Okay, anyway, let's get serious though. And thank you, by the way, Rachel and Mike, for keeping me company in the meantime. So, moving forward, basically what we're talking about here is, that difference of life in the bubble, not in the bubble. And I tell you, this idea is really at the crux of everything that I do here. To say it a different way, all the money that I make from, a good portion of the money that I make is all from folks that live in the bubble. In other words, their lives are so radically different than, let's say, my life. Because of that difference, there's a lot that we can do together. Or, said a different way, there's a lot of ways I make money off of that. And that's what I'm here to talk about, is the differences between living in the bubble, so to speak, which is to say, living the quote, quote, type 1 normal expat life, and what it could be, the opposite. So basically, where I think is a really good starting point is this. This is how normal situations for normal people really start. Said differently, more thoroughly, if a person in general has never been to Vietnam before, let alone has never traveled before or anything along those lines, then if they're really smart, what they're going to do is check online first. Hey, let's see what other expats are doing there. Let's check out the nice places to live. That's a good idea if you're smart. Yeah, of course you should do your homework. Doing the opposite would be ridiculous. Okay, so you do your homework and you find out what everyone else says is the good place to live, good place to be, good place to check out, etc. Awesome. Then, as you move a little bit further forward, you're like, well, what are some good jobs to have? Where are some good places in town to live? Well, talking about Saigon, about 80% of people said I should move to such and such district, District 2, for example. All right, more power to you, bro. That's great. And then let's just say you go with it and figure out a place in District 2, and then you get all the way there. What would a smart person do? Well, check out you don't want to be alone, so let's go meet some people. Let's go to meetup.com. Let's go to meetup groups. Let's do couch surfing. Let's join the local forums. Let's see if there's some sort of game night, community night, tap beer night, something along those lines. Great. Let's do it. If you're smart, that's what you would do. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. To meet nobody and do nothing and stay in your hotel room all day would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Okay. So far, so good. And then along the way, you're going to network with a lot of folks that are already living there. Maybe they're in your same passion. If you happen to be like a digital nomad that does graphic design, you might as well go to a meetup group with 20 other people that are also in graphic design. That would make perfect sense. If you're smart, you would. Sure. All of this makes perfect sense. In fact, I would suggest that, to a person. So far, so good. Now, after you've been in Saigon for a while, you've done everything right. You've done your research ahead of time. You've met up with the groups of people that you're going to be wanting to meet up with. And actually, magically, after a month, you've got 100 friends because it's a good idea. And because everyone, more often than not, most people are really wonderful, especially in big cities like Saigon, let's just say. So, yeah, victory. Everything about this plan is awesome. And I totally agree with it. But something also magical just happened, didn't it? You're there for a month. You take a look around. Like 100 people, maybe 200 people if you're really smart. And you know what? You speak zero Vietnamese. Yeah. You 100% of the people, all 200 out of 200 that you met was in these meetup groups, other expats that are living there. Perhaps the folks that are left and right of you renting apartments out there. And you know what? The bonus is they're all good people and they're all fun and they're all doing what you're doing. Everything about this on the surface is awesome, right? That's kind of what we're talking about here. So living in that world, like moving to a new country or a new city and so forth and connecting with people that are doing what you're doing is a good idea and a very natural process. Now, with that said, again, 1 month, you look around, you have 200 friends, you speak zero Vietnamese, you can't count to 10, you've never once hung out with a Vietnamese person because you don't have to. You never had to. Everything was kind of set up for you, which in its own right is a good thing by itself, sure. So it's very easy to just go right into this life and hop into it. Now, let's be very clear here. Is it awesome life? Awesome is an overstatement. Will you starve? Never. Will you be happy? Probably. Yeah, will you have basically infinite friends? Probably. Yep. If you do it all right. Yep. And will you be able to handle your basic necessities of life? Sure will. In fact, if you met zero Vietnamese people and you never otherwise took a step further than what you're doing right now, could you live in this world indefinitely? Yep, sure can. And you're going to have a whole support structure around you in the meantime. Sure can. Yep. So here's the thing. Could you do all of this and then stay there indefinitely? Yes. And is your life shitty? No, it's not. It's actually pretty awesome. So what's the point of this whole thing then, huh? I mean, if it's not a big deal, to sit there and make life like that happen. Here's the thing. Because it's so comfortable, because it's so easy, because the superhighway is already there, you get pulled into it. In fact, you're not alone. 95%, 98%, of folks that come here to Vietnam do exactly what you just did. Look left, look right. There's hundreds of people doing exactly what you just did. But again, you're living in a bubble and you don't know it. That's what we're talking about. You live in a bubble and you don't know it. You have no idea what life is like otherwise. You've never seen it deeper. You're not pushed or prodded. There's no gun tapping the back of your head. You're not pressured to do anything more than you are right now, really. And you have no financial incentive necessarily. But most importantly, I'm going to say it right now. If you're living in the bubble, the expat bubble, in a lot of ways, it's going to sound harsh, you're useless, and it's a lot of really important ways. In many ways, you're very useful and a very, doing everything right, etc. But in many ways, really, really, how much more advanced are you than just a mascot, just a dog that people want to pet sometimes? I mean, to be a little bit harsh here, look, if you can't even greet your neighbors, if you can't even read, if anything, you can't even read it out loud without knowing what it means. If you didn't spend, it takes 6 minutes to learn how to count to 10, but that's too much time for you. Oh yeah, too big of an investment. If you're one of those people, okay, you can't read at all. You can't really call anybody ever. Oh, I'll just use Grab all the time. Sure. But when they can't find you, they're going to call you and then you have no idea what the fuck is going on, do you? Yeah. Setting up your own bank account, can't do it. Want to check on your phone status, but the phone keeps pinging you messages and you don't know what it is. Yeah. You live in a neighborhood and then, gosh darn it, how many neighbors did you meet? 0. Every time someone greets you, you're like, hi. Done. Like, you never get to know your neighbors. You never know what their job is. You never get to meet their kids. Nope. You effectively live in this invisible bubble, this isolation, So that's the issue. That's the issue. Coming here to Vietnam and living in an expat bubble, it's a comfortable ass bubble. It's a very, very comfortable bubble. And it is, quote, quote, workable. And if you want to stay there the rest of your life, you sort of could. But again, let's acknowledge some facts here. You're effectively a mascot. I mean, outside of your little bubble, you're useless. You don't understand what anybody is saying whatsoever. You can't communicate with anybody whatsoever. You can't negotiate anything more complicated than I buy this. Me, want that, yeah, money. You can't do anything more than that. You're effectively useless. Yeah, when people talk about you, you have no idea what they're saying. When people are asking you questions, you can't respond. When there's a special holiday going on and they put up signs and posters everywhere, you can't read them. And like as a small example of this, I'm going around town and all of a sudden I saw some new posters, and it was like, oh, yeah, có bóng bà Mỹ Thoát, tiếc bởi quá bà sẽ có ca sĩ Hà Nội bà. Tiếc bởi quá, yeah. I'm reading all these posters. It's going to be the Sake Festival, Hot Air Balloon Festival, Art Festival, and they're inviting singers from throughout the world, including Kyle York is going to be showing up, who's a cool guy. And yeah. And I saw this the first day they put it up, and I'm thinking, hell to the yeah. And I'm telling all my friends, are you going to checking out the festival? It's like 7 days of absolute madness, and they got signs everywhere. And they're like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean? The festival? It's everywhere. Oh, yeah. You don't speak Vietnamese, and you're not curious at all, so you can't read anything. Oh, yeah. You're totally illiterate. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just so intuitive to me to read big ass, fucking 4 meter tall signs that are like blinking at me like 10 times a day. It's natural for me to just read that. Oh yeah, I forgot you're illiterate. Oh yeah, you have no idea what's going on right now at all. Okay. You don't even know what holiday is coming up tomorrow or what holiday it is today. Oh yeah, Women's Day. Oh, okay. Yeah, you didn't know that? Oh my gosh. You live in the bubble, bro. Yeah, you have no idea what's going on. I mean, you can make a vlog and say, I'm off the beaten path. I'm living like a native. I'm living like a local guy. Cool, bro. Are you? So anyway, that's a key example right there. But the bottom line is being deaf, mute, and illiterate is a really big deal. And if you, just think about it. Of course it is. I mean, imagine a person going to America, like let's say a Lao guy, bless his heart, come on in, but you're willing to work, willing to do your thing, great, come on in, so be it. But imagine a Lao guy coming into America, zero ability to speak English and zero knowledge of anything having to do with this country, can't set up his own bank account, can't get a driver's license, can't even navigate the roads, can't ask directions, can barely buy a coffee, barely. If they verbally tell him the price, he's like, show me on the internet. Because he's illiterate, and totally deaf and mute. Really. Hell, giving that fella a job, good luck to you, buddy. Hopefully you find like a network of Lao people at best, but a normal job place and a normal job market at a normal place, you're screwed, bro. I mean, because they don't respect you, because you can't even introduce yourself. You can't even count to 10. You can't even take basic instructions. You have no idea what's going on at all. If we hand you a contract, you're like, right. We can't give you any instructions in any way, shape. Man. Now, I can tell you, there are tens of thousands of very nice, otherwise very smart people that have moved to America, perhaps from Laos, perhaps from Korea, perhaps from India, wherever, and including Vietnam. Some OGs that swing over and they have to live in the bubble in America. It's the same concept. It's an expat bubble in America. Yep. And let's just acknowledge some facts here. He is totally incapable of handling anything on his own, right? The cable company calls because they want to give them a free cable, but what's this weird device? I have no idea what to hang up. Right. Somebody comes door to door with a publishing clearinghouse check. I have no idea what you're saying. He wants to buy a car. Ha. All right. Everyone has to help him buy the car. Everyone has to help dad. I mean, let's think about this. Let's put this in proper context. That means your kid or this man's kids have to babysit him permanently. And they have to answer the phone on his behalf, make all phone calls on his behalf. Yep. Oh, driving a car? Oh, my God. He's got to take the test. And now the kids have to teach him how to drive in Lao, and then have him take the test. How are you going to prepare for that test? The written test is like impossible. Okay, well, you're screwed there. What about every time he goes to the hospital, kids got to go with? Yeah. Every time he wants to buy some clothes, kids got to go with. Yeah. Wants to go to the bank to deposit $500, kids got to go with. Yep. So effectively, dad or grandpa here is ultimately the child. Wouldn't you agree? My gosh. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is, thinking about it this way, it's very easy as an American to look at a man from Laos coming to the U.S., deaf, mute, and illiterate, with no interest in learning English. He's totally screwed. He has no other friends except for the people in his immediate family. And surprise, surprise, a few other Lao immigrants that he's connected with here and there. That's it. That's it. You want to start your own business? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. You can't even get a driver's license. You can't even order a cup of coffee. You want to start a business? No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's easy to judge a guy like that. Well, let's flip the script. Here we are in Vietnam. Yep. I would say, bless their hearts. I love them all. But 90% of my friends can barely order a cup of coffee in Vietnamese. Oh, a bank? They don't even know what the word bank is. Yeah. Actually, over 50% of them barely know what the word motorbike is, let alone the word go, let alone the word five. So that's a terrific and unbelievably huge handicap, for a lot of folks. Of course it is. Now, can you figure out a way around this huge handicap of being deaf, mute, and illiterate? Sure. Specifically, hang with other expats. Hang at bars and restaurants that speak English already. Yep. Make friends of yours who are translators who can translate stuff on your behalf. Sure. Can it be done? Yep. But should it? Really? Are you really in the culture? Are you really like being like a local? Are you really here? Are you really off the beaten path? Are you really free? Truly, deeply? Are you free? You got to be babysat at all given times? Huh? You need a guide to bring you around everywhere? Is that right? 0 people in your neighborhood, huh? I see. If the grab guy calls, you don't know what to do. If you need an extra, if like your goddamn gas in your kitchen runs out and you got to call the gas company to get another tank, that's easy, by the way. Super easy. You need like 10 words and you could probably pull that off. You can't do it. Is that right? Call your landlord. Sure, go ahead. Yeah. Could it be sorted? Sure. And thank you, by the way, Mike. Your exact quote was, when you pointed out that the overwhelming number of nomad English teachers speak no Vietnamese, I was stunned and still am. Me too, dude. Oh my gosh. And let's go there for a moment. Oh man, if I were to sit down 100, expat nomad English teachers, I will bet that 50% of them do not know the word school. They don't even know the word teacher. Certainly don't know the word student and don't know the word like, oh my gosh, like learn, or they don't know the word college. They don't know the word graduate. Yeah, they don't know, certainly don't know the word, verb, adjective, noun. I bet actually over 50% of them probably don't even know the word speak. It is absolutely astonishing to me. And I've never, that would make working a classroom considerably more difficult, I would think. Similarly, and we're going to hit on this a little bit more later, but there's a big, what would you call it? Like, I think there's a hypocrisy in there, like a big, shining, glaring, ultra bright hypocrisy in there. Meaning a person is positioning themselves as a language acquisition expert. That means you pay me big bucks because I am the expert on how to acquire a language and how to speak a new language. I've never learned a language in my life, and I have never even put forth 5 minutes into learning a language. Yeah, I've sat and taught kids like for 5 years all about all the colors and numbers and months of the year and so forth, in English. 5 years I've sat here teaching kids all these colors and working in a classroom. I have a lot of experience. I'll counter ask, what's the word in Vietnamese for red? What's the word for purple? What's the word for black? Like 5 years. 5 years teaching colors, numbers, and months of the year. And you didn't bang that out in Vietnamese, huh? I could sort you out in 10 minutes, man. This is pretty easy. But are you shitting me? Like, seriously, I don't care how many credentials you have, my friend. In my own just raw opinion, I think you're either a hypocrite or you really don't try. At all. Seriously? In 5 years? You taught one subject and still don't know? I think it's time well invested. Hell, if you're going to work 30 hours a week at a school teaching colors in Vietnamese, why don't you spend 10 minutes and learn the colors? Hell, that would make sense to me. That's how I would approach it. But anyway, yes, it is appallingly true that a lot of folks come here to teach English. By the way, great choice. By the way, you can help out a lot of people, and there is good money in it, and it is a super comfortable life, and you will be, in general, well respected, and, in general, if you're in the bubble, it's a good way to live. Don't get me wrong. But if you stay in the bubble, which they're going to draw you into, then you're stuck there forever and you can't count to 10 and don't know the color red after 5 years of teaching red. Right. That's what we're talking about. So, similarly, I did want to point this out, that I had a buddy of mine, bless his heart, I won't name names, but he was like, yeah, I've been teaching here in Vietnam for about 2 years now. And, I've got my, whatever it is, TEFL certification, college degree, I've got all these documents all lined up. But anyway, I'm going to go back to Australia and I'm going to go back to college. And I'm like, why would you do that? That doesn't make a lot of sense. You were trying to leave there anyway. And he's like, well, because if I go to college, I can study teaching English to adults. And as a result, after 2 years and $20,000 in debt, plus lost wages, plus 2 years of his life. Yeah. Then he will have an adult education certification from his Australian college. And he's going to spend another 6 months after that to get some alphabet soup of CELTA, CEFL, whatever, some other certification, and I'm like, so you're going to spend 2.5 years of your life and somewhere between $20,000 to $70,000 in order to come back to Vietnam in order to become a better teacher? Fuck, man, you're living in the bubble. You're living right here in this little circle. If you just spoke Vietnamese, you wouldn't need any of that. Surely If you were to give me like $100, oh my God, you'll be spitting Vietnamese like a champion in like a weekend. Yeah, like why are you crossing the earth in order to? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So, in the bubble, not in the bubble. It's a very, very, very big deal. And along the way, let's see, we're getting to the next one. Got to crack a beer. Getting passionate. All right. So, look, I don't want to be overly critical towards folks who don't learn. I'm not criticizing any individual person, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm just pointing out that if you want to teach a language, then you should learn a language. If you want to teach business, you should at least have a mild amount of experience with business, I would think. If you want to be a painting teacher, you should paint at least one picture, I would think. If you want to be a motorcycle mechanic, you should at least own a motorcycle and have worked on one before, I would think. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so here's another thing. Got it. Just had to check my notes. Money time. Hooray. All right. So money time. Let's go here. I'm telling you, life in the bubble, meaning the expat bubble, costs more than not, than outside the bubble living your normal life. Big time. And it's not even close. And it's different the difference is greater than twice as expensive. Okay. So this is going to require a few different dimensions and a little explanation, but let's get into it. Okay. Where to begin? Number one. Okay. Let's go with the most obvious. Okay. And the simplest, and then we'll go from there. The most obvious. If you go to, I say this to everyone, if you go to restaurants in Vietnam, if you look left and you look right and you see any white people there, you're overpaying, for sure. If you look left and you look right and you look down and you see a menu written in English, you are overpaying. Guaranteed. I'll guarantee it. Guarantee it. Let me rephrase. Because I always look at both menus in Vietnamese and English, and I can price compare because obviously I'm not illiterate. Then I would say that, let me be more accurate. 60% of the time, the English menu is more expensive. And 40% of the time, they're the same price. It does happen, but whatever. More to the point. The places that only speak Vietnamese, all their signs are in Vietnamese. Everyone who's sitting around there only speaks Vietnamese, and it's in a Vietnamese neighborhood. Your prices are going to be better than if you go to anywhere that has any English of any kind. As soon as you see any English anywhere of any kind, you're overpaying. I'm just going to broadly say that. Now, to be more specific, if I were to go downtown and talk with Vietnamese people, but they were like, "Hello, sir, how are you?" And I'm like, "Nope, not going there," because they're for a banh mi sandwich, they're going to want like 25,000, or if they can nail me for 30, they're going to at least try, because this area is full of fools, who have no idea what the prices are and have never asked and don't really care and will gladly spend 30 and call it a day. So, no. In contrast, when I go to my neighborhood, they have zero English, and zero white people around. It's 5,000. 5,000, 25,000. That's not half, my friends. That's 5 times, my friends. So, yeah, that's a very, very real example. Very real example. And by the way, banh mi is the word sandwich. So if you just say banh mi, you're pretty much sorted. Yeah, and the word 5,000, nam nguyen. The word for 10,000, muing in. And if you really want to get fancy, you could say cho toi, một cái bánh mì. That's about it. That's the difference between 25,000 and 5,000 is just those couple words of Vietnamese. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Now, another quick example. Prices at Big C versus prices in the small markets that only speak Vietnamese. I would say, and I don't know exactly, I'm just guesstimating, roughly half of the expats living here do all of their shopping at Big C. And the reason being is everything's listed in both languages conveniently. It works. By the way, Big C is a great place. I got nothing against them, okay? And I got nothing against folks that go there and Vietnamese people go there. Okay, it's a great place, so nothing against anybody here. And yes, it is super convenient. And yes, things are standardized and price fixed, so to speak. In other words, you can walk through without opening your mouth and you can see prices of everything easily. And you can mentally calculate what the final bill is going to be quite reasonably. Cool. Now, given that, I was going to mention that it is way easier to go shopping at Big C, but when you compare that to shopping at the market, real quick, I could say that shopping at the market specifically requires you to ask for all of the prices one by one, which, by the way, only requires words like bao nhiêu tiền, how much money, or it requires words like, một chút, hai chút, ba chút, bốn chút, năm chút, or 100, 150, 200,000, yeah, một khi, hai chút, something along those lines. So when we think about it that way, the difference between shopping in the local market versus shopping at Big C is simply you got to open your mouth and you got to ask and got to be able to count to 10. And you got to know things like the word kilo is ki. The word for 10 is mui, or the word is chu. Ba mui or ba chu. Right. 1 kilo, một ki ba chu. Okay, 1 kilo, 30,000. That's it. That's it. If you got the numbers and some basic things, you can shop at the local market, no problem. You need words like give me and thank you and buy and have. I mean, stuff that you can bang out in about 20 minutes. Yeah, you need to know that. But then all of a sudden, you don't have to go to Big C anymore. You could if you want, but you don't have to. So why does that matter? Well, let's think about this. First of all, the price. Pretty much everything on average is 50% more in Big C than it is the market. Example, to buy a toothbrush, let's just say, at Big C is about 60,000 on average, generally based on what I saw. Okay, which works out to like $2 American or $2.5 American, something like that. All right, so far so good. But if I go to my local market, it's 12,000. Okay, that's like 50 cents. Not close, my friends. Not close at all. So thinking about it that way, that's one example, but same thing. Food, meat, beer, toothbrushes, clothes, you name it. You name it. It's cheaper at the market at least by a third, at least. Sometimes it's like a quarter of the price. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But that entire market and that entire world is isolated from you if you live in the bubble. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah. The cost difference in terms of food is pretty notable simply by knowing the words like bao nhiêu tiền, một chút, hai chút, ba chút, bốn chút, 100, 150, 200, 250, 15,000, 15,000. So again, this is all pretty easy if you got the language banged out. Reason number 2, just in terms of shopping, proximity. Like this is a very real example with one of my buddies, Jay here in Hue City. Traditionally, to buy beer and water and snacks, he would get on his motorcycle and then drive his ass off. It would take him, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes, let's just say, to get to the grocery store, to get to Big C. And then got to park in the downstairs little parking area. And then hop in the elevator, take the elevator up to the 4th floor. And then once you get up to the 4th floor, you take the escalator down to the 3rd floor. Okay, great. And then you buy your beer, buy your water, buy your snacks, check out, wait in line, and then go back down the elevator, get on your motorcycle, load all that shit up, and then head back home. You're talking like an hour and a half commitment here, really, to buy beer, food, and water. No. In that case, I ended up going to his house, and I was like, I asked while I was waiting for him, I ended up hanging out around his house in the local neighborhood, and just to talk with people and do my thing, whatever. And I was just like, oh, Shady got my band, anh ấy, muốn mới tới đi đấy vì chỉ muốn mua bia muốn đèn LED và tay bóng và muốn số Mã Lan, muốn số Mã Lan và từ điển. So nên nghĩ mà rất dễ lắm, Yeah, I got a buddy of mine here that I'm about to meet that wants to fix his fridge, wants to fix his air conditioner, and furthermore, wants to find local prices on stuff, etc. And of course, the guy's like, "Oh, the repair guy lives right over there. I got his phone number right here. You want me to call him for you?" Like, "Oh, yeah, đang mà sửa hàng, và sửa đồ giả đến, đây là một bạn của tôi, cô ta gọi bay được không?" That's what it sounded like, and of course, I was like, "Oh yeah, why don't you do that? Sure. And where can I buy beer locally? Oh, right over there. Oh, perfect. Yeah, hey, I'll walk over there. What's her number? All right, ding, 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 ding. All right, sweet. Yep." And then met up with Jay, and he was like, "Brad, we got to work hard. We got to find a repair guy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I found him already. He's right over there. Yeah, he's actually going to just show up here in about 5 minutes. Oh yeah, and beer's going to also show up here in about 5 to 10 minutes." Sure enough, someone shows up at the door with a case of beer and a bunch of ice. Hey! And then the repair guy follows him right in. Yep. The only words I needed to pull this off were like person, repair, fridge, TV, call, find, hire. I don't know, less than 20 words, certainly, to pull this all off. And I just pulled it off in a couple minutes over a beer. Yeah, without even trying, without even looking online, without even really working that hard. Right. When you live in the bubble, you don't see this. You don't see this. Yeah. Oh, and Pablo, welcome, buddy. And all the satisfaction of interaction with different cultures with respect. Yes. And Rachel, I don't go buy beer. I call a guy who delivers beer and esky with an ice. Cheap too. Rachel, thank you, honey. Yeah. To drive the point home. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I bring all this up because just to talk about the proximity thing, I was like, buddy, Jake, man, I love you, and you're super smart, and you're super good at what you do, and everything about you I love. You're in the bubble, buddy. You're in the bubble. Big time, man. Big time. Didn't you know that the local beer woman is across the street from you? She had a big old sign right outside of your door that says, "I have cases of beer. Call to order." God dang. And sure enough, we set up the phone so he can send a text message to her. And then all of a sudden, instead of driving his ass all the way to Big C, he can just send a text, resend beer. And her phone, ding, Jake across the street, beer. Brings it over along with the water. Done. So your whole life effort of this once or twice a week, driving your ass off for hours and spending an absurd amount of money. Oh, we didn't talk about the cost. I think it's like a 20 pack of cans, is in the neighborhood of like $250,000, which in American dollars would be in the neighborhood of like 11 $10.50, $11 for like a case of beer, which just sounds good, right? Until you realize that a case of brown bottle beers, here is actually $1.50, which is more like $6. $11 all the way down to $6, half the price. And because these are bigger, you get 9 liters instead of 8. Of course I know that, because it takes like a minute to figure that out if you speak Vietnamese. I mean, yeah, that's the first thing they say when you show up to buy beer. Like, how much is the beer? How much is it? And they'll tell you right away. A lot of people have been here 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and have no idea that brown bottle returnable bottles are the way to go. Okay. So the time factor and the cost factor, by being able to speak a little bit of Vietnamese, I mean, when I say little, I'm not understating, like literally a little. You're laughing. Now, that's a good example. Yes, repairing stuff. Oh my gosh. To go there, a lot of expat folks, okay, let me back up. I love helping people, and I will help anybody that I can, and in a reasonable capacity that I can. I really will. And my favorite thing to do is to help expats that live here handle some of this basic stuff. In other words, folks who live in the bubble that have no idea how to make shit happen, they need, instead of learning the whole world, it would be easier for them to just call me, and then I handle it on their behalf. Sweet. I'm down with that. That's great. In fact, we'll do it together. And some people are just like, take my money, shut up, and make it happen. Cool with me. Some people are like, hey, I want to go with you, and I think this will be a fun adventure day, and I'll buy you beer and food along the way. How about that, Bao? And I'm like, sweet, that'll work. Other people are like, hey, how about I pay you a bunch of money to figure out how to do this in Vietnamese, and then not a bunch of money, a little money, like $20. I'll give you $20 to sit down with me for an afternoon, and then show me how to do this, and then I can go off on my own and handle this problem for the rest of my life. Sure, that's your best route. But no matter what, this is what I do. Well, this is probably 30% of what I do, is help out folks that want to bang out some basic life stuff. Now, next, I wanted to say this. We can all agree that there is a price difference between ordering things or getting things when you speak English only, when you live in the expat bubble, versus outside of the bubble, saying it in Vietnamese, working with Vietnamese people and doing it in the Vietnamese way. There's a lot of examples of this, and this is really the main point that we're really getting at. Now, to pick another small example of this. Okay. A buddy of mine wanted to get ceiling fans. Now, and then he wanted them installed in his house. Great idea, by the way. Super needed. Awesome choice. And you called the right guy. Yeah. But here's the thing. To line up ceiling fans yourself is not that hard. In fact, if you were to type the word ceiling fan into Google Translate, you'll probably get the answer. And then you could probably put that into Google Images and probably bang it out from there. Download a couple pictures of ceiling fans just to make sure and try to pronounce it right. Then talk to anybody you want anywhere, and then just say like, "Tôi muốn quạt chung, yeah, quạt chung yung ni." Oh yeah, sorted and done. Yep. That's all you really got to do. You got to know the item that you want, and then you need basic words like want, have, buy, do, go, pay, how much, and then obviously you got to understand the numbers. Yeah, you're off and running. Yeah, that's about all you need. It's not very complicated. The barrier to entry takes like 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and you'd pretty much have it all banged out. 98% of people here don't. Bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. You know, they're in the bubble. Those folks call me, and I sort it for them. And I'm just like, obviously, I love helping everybody, but sometimes I'm just like, my God, this is so easy. This is just laughably easy. I would love to spend just like 20 minutes to show you 5 words. And then you're all, no, you don't give a shit? Oh, perfect. You just want to pay me and I'll do it for you? Okay. The bubble costs you money and costs you time and separates you from the world like you can't believe, you know, out here. Setting up a new business or otherwise trying to crush life or otherwise trying to make it happen in life is considerably harder if you're completely missing the language, deaf, mute, and illiterate. You know, it's just a nice, simple way to put it. Now, along the way, loneliness. I got to go here. Mike, raised an insular cult, bubbles depress me. Okay. Perhaps what you're saying there, Mike, is your lifestyle is similar, or upbringing, I don't want to say for sure, is similar to a lot of other folks, including mine, which is to say, my hometown was very homogeneous, which is to say, like really enjoys one language, one way of thinking, one religion, one sect of one religion, one type of people, one geographical area that we're stuck, and so forth and so forth. Right. It's insular, one could say. Yep. Anyway, let's move forward a little bit. Okay. I wanted to go here. Business, costs of things, prices, and making stuff happen. Okay. And by the way, Mike, you brought up there's a stigma attached to communicating with outsiders. I totally get that. Totally get that. Totally get it. You know, and actually, and once again, I totally get the bubble thing. Totally 100% understand it. I sort of came from one and sort of have been in one. Yeah, I get it. Where to go from here? Okay. To refocus here, I did want to say, let's pick this as one example. And forgive me if you've heard this example before, but I'm going to go there. I wanted to go from Hue City to Laos in order to do my visa run. Sweet action. To say it differently, I've got to go there, let's say, every 6 months. And maybe once a year, whatever the hell. I got to go to Laos sometimes. So far, so good. Now, the visa bullshit aside, what I really just want to say is the trip there and the trip back. Now, I'm like, where do I buy a bus ticket? And I thought to myself, like, gosh darn it. I walked around my local neighborhood and no one sells bus tickets, but I didn't open my mouth. I just walked around. No. I'll go downtown because I saw a lot. The walking street, white people tourist district. Yep. Went around there to buy some bus tickets. So far, so good. That's what smart people do. Or you look online. That's what smart people do. And I did both. That's what smart people do. And yep, $500,000. Got it. Yeah. And I walked downtown. I'm like, I'm going to negotiate these bastards down. And I started talking. All right, 500. One gal dropped it to 450 for me, which is cool. But I went to 5 different places. Cheapest I got was 450. walking around. Damn. So I took it, obviously, and went all the way to Lao, and it was a pain in the dick. And then once I went to the border and then came back, I had like 3 hours that I had to sit around and wait for the return bus to bring my ass back because I prepaid for the there and back thing. Ouch. Got all the way back to Wayne. I'm like, man, that one stung. It was 500,000 plus. I had to piss away 2-3 hours of my life waiting for the return bus. But that's how, if you live in the bubble, that's the only option. That's the only way to do it. You have no chance of really reasonably getting outside of there or finding anything different. In other words, you may or may not do like a border run 20 times in a row and every time use the same company and life is good. Life is good. Life is good. By the way, all of your other expat friends are going to say, good on you, bro. Way to do it. That's the company I use too. And every time you show the company again, they're going to say, hey, good to see you again. Another ticket? Okay, yeah. Everyone's going to be applauding you every single step of the way. Yeah. And actually, if you get done with this entire 500,000 dong, which is $22, by the way, ish, 21 bucks, round trip, you're going to be like, I got this figured out. Check. No further research needed. Yes. And are you right? Yeah. Okay. Everything about this plan wins. Everything is right. You did everything right. You're a smart person. Yep. But you're in the bubble. You're in the bubble. Yeah. Within the bubble, that's the only way to live and only way to do it. Okay. Let's contrast that with, I was just sitting around in the downtown area having beers with one of my friends, and of course he's a Vietnamese guy, and as you would. And I was just like, dạ tối muốn đi lão bao bằng xe buýt, và ở đây nói ra, phải trả 500,000, 500,000, 500,000, 500,000, một vé 2 triệu, a trip 2 ways. Một vé 2 triệu, nhưng nghĩ mà mắc quá, nhưng thôi, đứa thế nào có thể đi lão bao ở đây hơn. And of course, he was super awesome about being like, 500,000, are you out of your mind? Yeah, like, không thấy tính mà 500, no, chỉ cần đi bên xe Bắc. Và nếu đi bên xe Bắc có thể mua một vé, có lẽ 600 một vé, 1 triệu, và dễ hơn. Bạn đi hàng nhớ, có lẽ 1 giờ 1 lần, 1 giờ 2 lần. And I'm like, sweet. Okay. So in a 30-second conversation with the guy, I just went from spending 500,000 dong for a round trip ticket to, he just said I can buy a ticket. I can just get delivered or go right to the train station on the north side directly and buy a ticket for 60,000. 60, which is $2. Nice. And he was kind enough to point out that the return buses are coming back, and they're usually about 80,000 as a local price, but they charge 200,000 to white people. That's good to know. So on top of that, he was like, oh yeah, chúng tôi có thể đi với nhau, tôi có thể đi bến xe phía Bắc và với nhau, có thể đi bây giờ, có muốn đi ha? Yeah, hey buddy. Well, on top of that, I'll bring you up to the Northside train station right now. In fact, your house is on the way, so let's stop there, grab your bags, and then you can go right to the train station, and then we'll buy that ticket, and you'll be all set. How about that? Sure. Nice. So now the price went up these days. Now it's 80, but still, I can go up there for 80 and come back for 80. So now it's 160,000, which is $7. Nice. $7 versus 21 bucks. Might sound inconsequential to y'all. To me, that matters. Especially because to take a downtown bus, the pain in the ass factor is I gotta be there at 7. And then they're probably late, but then they bring my ass there from 7:30. Then they bring me to station number 2, and then I gotta wait my ass there till 9. And then eventually at like 9, they'll bring my ass to the North Station. And then I sit my ass there for like another 45 minutes, then get on a bus, then leave. Whew. Total time wasted, 2 hours. Or I just stay at my house and then just ride my bicycle up the goddamn road for like a kilometer and then go to the station. They got buses leaving every 30 minutes. Terrific. Total time wasted, like 37 minutes. So 37 minutes, leave immediately, and I can round trip it for $6. Or major pain in the dick, and it's going to cost me $21 because that's what we're talking about. They're not the same. They're not the same. What's the difference between those two? Well, you got to know the word bus station. You got to know the word bus ticket. You got to know the word go. You got to know the word like place, probably. Lao Bao is Lao Bao. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. Maybe you could say one way, two way. Goes to I chew. Okay, that's probably worth knowing. That's about it. You need about 10 Vietnamese words. And obviously the confidence to just ask a Vietnamese person in Vietnamese, how to go about it. And you're all sorted out for life. So by knowing those 10 words, I just saved, I don't know, let's say 340,000 dong per trip times whatever 10 trips I've done since then. Do the math. But that's one example out of 100. So to say it differently, Rachel, every 6 months I got a visa run to and I hate it. $60K for local bus from Saigon to Cambodian border, but I know people who choose to pay up to $1 million. Thank you, Rachel. That's a perfect example right there. Yeah. So the price differential from living in the bubble versus not is not like negligibly small. It's huge. It is a huge difference between these two numbers. Big time. So that makes things interesting, and that's a huge reason for investing a few minutes to learn these few words. Whew. Now, while we're at it, okay. This price differential thing and the difference of a few words changes not only the prices, knowing a few words not only changes a few prices, but also changes the time input that you need to throw at it. So yeah, I brought up a couple other examples already, but one other example that I'd like to bring up, would be making money. That's more fun. All right, let's get after it. Okay, so right here, Spanish beer. Let's go there. Okay, this is just a quick example for you guys. Let's say it was 10 years ago, maybe 2003, 15 years ago. I went to Spain, and at that time I was in college, thus I was super broke. So I had about 10 euros a day to work with. Great. By the way, a hostel costs like 14 euros a night at that time. And one single beer at a bar costs about 5 euros at that time. I assume it's higher now, but either way, that was rough. A lot of homeless living. Oh my gosh. And I tell you what, you get real familiar with hunger. And yeah, that 10 euros had to stretch me for all plane tickets, train tickets, fun activities, drinks, water, food, booze, accommodations, everything. That's a pretty tight budget, my friends. Now, I bring this to your attention because midway through the trip, I was in Spain, and go figure, I overspent. Thus, I was down to, gosh, 3-4 euros a day, which is less than the cost of a hostel. So I'm effectively homeless on the streets. Now, one difference here is I'm fluent in Spanish. Boom! I speak Spanish. So that's a game changer and a half. Yeah. Okay, let's get specific. What happened next? Well, in this case, I found out that, yeah, indeed, bars are somewhere between 5 to 8 euros a drink. Yep. Now, our hostel was a little bit cheaper, so it was like 5 euros a beer at our hostel. So far, so good. But I went around, and because I speak Spanish, I just walked right down to the street like, ya hoy anoche yo quiero fiestar, puedo ir, ¿a dónde? Oh, como también nosotros queremos comprar un poco de cerveza. ¿Hay cerveza aquí o una tienda que tiene cerveza cerca de aquí? Ah, ¿lo tiene? Ya, 1 euro nada más. Ah, qué bien. ¿Cuál es la dirección de eso? Oh, okay, gracias. Perfect. Yeah, and then headed right up. I mean, I walked like 5 meters out of the place, talked to a guy. Bang, I was on my way to a liquor store. Yeah, sure enough, it was 85 euro cents for a beer. Yeah, and it was like a 40, like bigger than one of these. I was like, sweet. So what happens next? Well, I go back to the damn hostel, and I was like, well, and I'm totally broke, by the way. I don't have the upfront whatever, but obviously I want to sell them to these folks sitting here, so what the hell? So I just went from room to room, and I brought up everyone. Hey, by the way, guys, I'm putting together a beer order. By the way, the beers at the bar are 7 euros, and the beers here are 5 euros, but mine are only 3. So but you can only pre-buy them. You can't buy them later. So how many you want? Oh, if you're dumb, you won't buy any, and then you'll pay retail. If you're smart, you'll buy a whole buttload of them. Heavens, yeah. I got folks like, oh, I'll take 10. Yeah, here's 30 euros. Sweet. Yeah, here's 40 euros. Oh, I'll take 5. Here's 5 euros. Sweet, 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 sweet. What room number? All right, sweet, 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 sweet. So bang, now I'm sitting there with like 200 euros, which, let's say is enough for like 60 of them, and then I go to the actual shop and end up paying like 50 euros. And and then I got just like cases of these bastards. It was mildly difficult because we had to bring like, because I speak Spanish, I went to the front desk, and I was just like, yo creo que nosotros tenemos cerveza aquí, ¿no? Pero nosotros queremos ir a la tienda y nosotros queremos comprar un poco de cerveza y nosotros vamos a llevarlos, dentro del hostal. ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede, no? And thankfully, the front desk woman was like, no, we're not cool with you bringing in cases of beer right through the front desk here and shit like that, blah, blah. Great. Okay, yo voy a ir a la estación, de tren, entonces voy a ir con 2 amigos y nosotros tenemos que ir ahora. So yeah, okay, no worries then, hon. I guess we're going to go ahead and get our bags because we got to leave and go to the train station. So I went upstairs, grabbed 4 friends, and then had them empty out their bags. And then we brought down empty fucking luggage and backpacks all the way down past the front desk. Thanks, honey. Gracias. Yeah. And then went to the liquor store. Yeah. And then we loaded our shit up, with, hell, I had like 200 euros to work with that wasn't mine. It was other people's money. Yeah. And they gave it to me. And I was like, fucking sweet, And so I didn't spend all of it, but I spent like 150, which buys me like 200 beers. And I owe these folks like 60 or 70 or whatever it was. Yeah, oh yeah. And dude, when you got 4 guys with like rolling luggage and backpacks, you can fit that shit in there. It takes some engineering. The guys at the store were laughing their asses off because we bought every beer they have in the store, like the whole shit. Yeah. It was like a pallet. Yeah, whatever. Regardless, we loaded all that shit up. And then we went to a coffee shop and then drank some of our beer and, and then like courtesy, like 2 hours later, showed back up at the front desk. Oh, no podemos ir, ahora, porque el tren no llega. Entonces, vamos a ir mañana, okay? Yeah, okay, gracias, chica. Yeah. And then we got in the elevator and ding, upstairs we go. Here you go, sling. And I got rid of the first 70 beers, and then the rest of them I can. And by the way, this is all profit, man. I could. Oh yeah. Every beer I sell, I get €2 or 2.2 euros. So yeah, sticks of gum, son. Yeah, I went from room to room and just let them all go. All of this happened because I speak Spanish. Could it have been done if I don't speak Spanish? Probably. Maybe. It would be doable, but harder. Would I have known about the front desk, like not allowing the beer thing? No, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have known the local laws. I wouldn't have known the carry laws. I wouldn't have known where to buy the beer. If I didn't speak Spanish, the only way I would have figured that out is by physically walking on foot throughout every street in the entire city and walking into every store in the entire city. And I would have gotten there eventually, to be sure. But I speak Spanish. I'm not in the bubble, right? So again, by knowing the language difference, all of a sudden, these opportunities pop open. And now you can make tons of money, or you can be successful, or at the very least, get the best price right off the bat, right out the gate. So again, what we're doing here is comparing like the bubble life versus, outside of the bubble. And there's so many ways of looking at it, and these are just some examples. But the ability to make money and the ability to profit goes up ridiculously if you got the language. So, yeah, it's quite amazing. Am I? Yeah, I'm going, jeg có the vô nước, like hai vô nước, gần cua. Yeah, the vô nước. Yeah, có tay lại là hai bầu nước á. Yeah, okay, cảm ơn em. What I was going to say is, the ability to build my life as it is here now in Vietnam that's critical, of course. And imagine this Spanish beer thing. And by the way, I did want to point out, oh my God, I made like 300 euros, some absurd amount of money. I don't remember, but it was absurd at the time, like 300 euros my first day. Oh, yeah, by the way, I ended up staying in Spain for like 9 days. And not Madrid, Barcelona. Yeah, for 9 days. I walked out of there rich. I had way more than enough money because I speak Spanish. Yeah. So anyway, as let's change topics here a little bit. All right. Yeah. Hi, what a lovely gal. All right. Forgive me, guys. Now, moving forward a little bit. Okay. So to change topics, we're going to be talking about loneliness. We got to go here. Okay. Okay. Now, since you're here with us, Mike, I'm going to specifically talk about Vung Tao for a moment. Okay. I'm going to get very real with you. Now, I again, I went to Vung Tau several times. So let's just pick this as a small example. Now, the first time I went there with my great uncle Pat, which was a real wonderful experience. Now, he was a former helicopter pilot out there and had a lot of old friends there, etc. So again, there's a lot of wonderful things to be said about it. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of bubbles out there, okay? What I mean by that is if you go to the standard strip of bars that are sort of by the beach, sort of like I was describing right there, you will have no trouble at all on your first day, your first minute of your first hour of your first night out. You'll meet all kinds of folks who've been living there for a long period of time. Cool. And here's the thing. They're going to be some jovial people, and they're going to be happy about their lives there. And they'll probably buy you a beer, in fact, when you sit down and hang out with them. And what I'm talking about here are like the, let's say, 55 to 65-year-old fellas that are sitting around, bellies or otherwise, beer in hand or otherwise, doing their thing or otherwise, and having a decent life. Now, you're also going to notice a few other things about them. Once you get to talking about, hey, you retired? Yeah. Living in the Vung Tau? Yep, sure am. Living the dream, man. Sweet action. Yeah. You're going to also find out your life is boring as fuck. Super fucking boring. And here's why. They're socially isolated. If they want to talk with like the backpacking 21-year-old millennial vegan guy, they're going to be like, nah, fuck that fella. Right. If they want to sit around and talk to, here we go. Sit around and, meet the entrepreneurial people. They're like, I'm over that. I'm retired anyway. Fuck it. Sure. And they're not wrong. But if you ask them, what all have you done this week? They're going to be like, well, I came here, went to that bar over there, then that bar over there. 7 nights in a row. And they're going to maybe phrase it in a fun way, like, I've been here 20 years. It's been great. Great group of friends here. Great group of people. Good friends to hang out with every day. Life is good. And every single thing they just said is right. To be clear, they literally have like 5 friends. And they literally go to like 5 places 7 days a week. Yep. Because they're socially isolated. They can't actually go anywhere else. They can't socially connect with any other people from any other age or background demographic than themselves. And they certainly don't speak a word of Vietnamese. So when they look at me and they're like, yeah, someday you can be like me, and someday, Brad, you'll know you can clock in 20 years in this beautiful country. I'm telling you what, I'm a champion, and I know how to live right, and this is the place to be. Is it now? What's the word bar in Vietnamese? What's the word service? What's the word hello? I mean, what's the word my name is? Oh, you don't need that. I mean, I got this figured out, Brad. All that complicated shit ain't that important. I mean, shit, man, I never needed it. Been here this long, got it figured out. So, I don't know, a lot of people waste their time with that shit, but the language is too hard and not even worth learning. Plus, people speak English anyway. It's fucking fine, man. Don't worry about it. Hey, I'm awesome. I've been retired here for this long, so life is good. Isn't though? That's what it sounds like. That's exactly verbatim, exactly what it sounds like. So in your own case, Mike, if you find yourself in Vung Tau, be ready, buddy. You're going to meet a lot of folks who will verbatim exactly say what I just said right there. Exactly word for word. Hey, more power to them. I mean, I got nothing against them, but their life is boring as fuck. It's super boring. Sure, maybe they go to another restaurant occasionally with their expat friends, but not really. Do they do anything real magical? No. They got their shit figured out here. Are they going to starve to death? No. Are they going to have a bad time? Not. Are they going to run out of money? Nah. Are they going to be uncomfortable? Not really. But are they living an awesome life? No. Are they crushing it? No. Are they growing as a person? No. Are they literate? Nope. Are they? Can they understand anybody and can they speak anything? Nope. Can they go anywhere except for these 4 bars? Nope, not really. Nope. Can they stay anywhere except for the home they're in? Nope. Because sometimes they're married to a Vietnamese woman. More power to them, by the way. That's cool. But could they live without their spouse or girlfriend or squeeze or whatever the case is? Nope. They're completely fucking useless without it. So I don't want to say they're bad folks or stupid or otherwise not, crushing it. But I did want to say their life is way, 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 way less awesome than it could be. Way less awesome. So, Mike, you're saying lived in Kauai for 16 years. The bubble is alive and well in America. Most mainlanders did not interact with brown people. You speak the truth. Right. Get ready for that shit. Now, I got to admit, I've been trying to be as polite as I can, but the raw Brad here, the raw idea here is, occasionally I accidentally get angry over this situation. Said differently, here's an example. And forgive me getting fired up, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Okay, I met a gentleman in Thailand. Great. And he is originally from England. So far, so good. And he's part of an NGO that helps people in various countries. In this case, he recently came back from, it's not Cuba, Haiti. There it is. Because apparently Haiti had an earthquake of some kind. And he was there, helping out with earthquake relief, et cetera, et cetera. Great. Cool story, bro. Yeah, now. Cool story, bro. Come to find out, he's been living in Thailand for 10 years with his Thai wife and speaks zero Thai. Zero. Not the number 1, not the number 2, not the word yes, not the word no, not the word hello, not the word goodbye, not the word thank you. Fuck you, Thailand. Fuck you, Thailand. Fuck you. Language that my wife speaks. Fuck you, full family of my wife. Fuck you, every neighbor around me, and so forth. Fuck everybody. I'm from England. I speak the Queen's English, and I am the man that otherwise knows what's going on. I speak the superior language, and there's no need to learn your brown people language. No need to lower myself to your standards. If you want to get job done and be as awesome as me, you speak the Queen's English, ya wanker. Cool thought, bro. So once we got into it, yep, that's exactly his attitude verbatim. And on top of that, went to Haiti, didn't learn any Haitian, obviously. I mean, fuck that. The Queen's English. Yeah, and actually, I was wondering to myself, like, what'd you do there? You know, you can't talk with anybody. You show pictures of you sitting with a shovel in your hands, like helping people dig a well. And I'm like, nah, you just showed up there for the photo op, son. I bet you don't know a single name of a single person you ever met. I bet you don't even know the basics, including like I bet you don't know the basics, including like, how do you say hello in Haitian? I actually asked him this. It's just some black language. Fuck those people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just some subculture. I don't know. How do you ask, how are you in Haitian? Yeah, how do you say I'm here to help? Hello, my name, nothing. He's in the bubble. Right there. Living right there. Some bubble having, bubble living white guy from England who's living in Thailand got called up to go to Jamaica, go to Haiti and do his thing. And I'm like, and then comes back and all that's fine. However, do not sit and brag to me about how awesome and understanding and wonderful and open-hearted and help the world. I am a hero upon the earth. I am the man that is, I mean, this relief would not have happened except for me. I am the man that made it all work. I am a NGO worker and volunteer that understands how the world really goes. Yeah. And here I am living the dream. An Englishman in Thailand. How more awesome could I be? Oh, yes. Volunteering for people, getting overpaid to do it. I am fucking awesome. Yeah. I own this coffee shop. I don't work here. Technically, my wife actually bought it because I have no fucking clue what's going on. And can't even say hi to a single guest. But I own this coffee shop and I own this house. And so, yeah, things are going pretty good. A coffee shop business, an NGO. Yeah, and lifestyle as an expat. I'm telling you, Brad, come out here and be like me. I will teach you, Brad, how to live properly. How to really enjoy Thailand, the real Thailand for how it really is. Oh, yes. Hey, and not everybody has the heart like me to volunteer, but I am all heart. So I will take you out and show you what I do. And I will show more pictures of me digging wells and building foundries. Oh, hang with me more and I will tell you more about how awesome I am. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Hey. I'm cool with you doing what you want to do. All right. I'm cool with that. All right. Hey, the fact that you went to Haiti to volunteer, more power to you, bro. I'm cool with all that. In fact, go twice as much, man. Hey, what did my laziest high school buddy do with his life? Jack shit. Okay, you actually went to Haiti. More power to you. Okay, I'll grant you that one. Okay, and fuck, 99% of my hometown friends never left America. All right, and hey, sure, I'll grant you the fact you're in goddamn Thailand right now. I'll grant you all that. Hey, in fact, while we're on the topic, I'll also grant you the fact that you married a Thai woman. More power to you, bro. You know, and you otherwise are happily married for 10 or 5 or 10 years. More power to you, bro. Hey, all of that, I give thumbs up. Okay. If we started and stopped right there, we'd be doing great. But you had to be an arrogant fuck about it, didn't you? You had to tell me how smart you are when you're an illiterate asshole. Yeah. You actually want to tell me about how you're so great and so smart and so wonderful. You see the world so deeply, but you don't. You're fucking blind, dude. You're blind to everything. You're blind to the people. You're blind to the idea. You're blind to what people actually need. You didn't even interview, talk to, hang out with, or learn the name of a single Haitian person the whole time you were there. And you're telling me you're fucking Jesus Christ? Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're just another white guy asshole who got paid by some NGO to kind of oversee some random aspect. In the meantime, you were totally fucking useless while you're there. You couldn't even talk to a goddamn, construction worker in any way. I bet when you were getting your picture taken, you didn't even know the word in Haitian. You didn't know the word dig, picture, me, you, hello, thanks to the picture, selfie. You didn't know any of those words. You just, I'm so smart. Look at me taking care of the local. That's what happened. Yep. You're in a bubble, bro. You're in a hardcore bubble, my friend. Hardcore. Mm-hmm. And, oh, yeah. And thank you, by the way, Rachel. Hey, if you want me to get animated, I'll get animated. I got enough beers to make this work. But anyway, I'm just saying this is totally fucking real. Totally fucking real. All right. So, along the way, here is I'm going to kind of go into something related right here. Okay. And forgive me phrasing it this way. Okay. I'm just gonna phrase it this way. I realize, it's whatever nationalistic to say it this way, but American exceptionalism. I'm just gonna talk from the perspective of an American who is otherwise whatever. I'm just talking from that perspective. Okay, take it or leave it. Now, the volunteer problem. Now, this sounds like a weird thing to say because I started traveling as a volunteer. I worked in an orphanage in Lima, Peru. Yeah. And my Spanish was fucking banging before I showed up because fucking duh, I'm going to Peru and everyone speaks Spanish. Yeah. And after 3 months, banging, fluent. Yeah. Puedo hablar español en Lima, Perú y por siempre. Como también yo puedo venir en Lima, Perú y voluntar en un orfanato, lo que sea, cuando sea, lo que sea. Whatever, however, whenever. I'll volunteer at an orphanage. I'll volunteer with people, make it happen. Okay, good. But I speak Spanish. Now, I gave a talk at a engineering college in Mankato, Minnesota. The engineering students, it was 40 students who were on their way to volunteer in El Salvador, and they were going to build pipes. It would be like water towers and pipes and systems like that. By the way, I totally applaud every single person on their way out there for that reason in that situation. Life is good. Now, they invited me to give a talk because I happen to have experience in the bubble, out of the bubble. I have experience being like a language speaking, fully integrated kind of volunteer. And I've experienced being like just a dumb a-hole. Like, I have no idea what's going on. Blah. Okay. And now, here's the thing. I applaud all 40 people for making their volunteer trip out to El Salvador. I applaud them. I think more people should go. I think it will be good for them. I think it's really touching for the people in El Salvador for volunteers to pay their own way to come and visit them to help out in some capacity, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. Every single thing about this trip, I applaud. The bubble thing. Let's go there. So they invited me in as a culture expert, which is to say a guy that has traveled to South America before and has been a volunteer before. What do we got to know and how do we approach this situation? Great. Well, in this case, I had 2 hours to basically put it all on the line and be as real as I am right now. The bottom line is, I said, all of you guys are closed-minded, have no idea what you're about to walk into. Your concept of how awesome this is going to be is inflated big time. And the preparation you did for this was misguided. And your concept of the outcome of this trip is completely skewed. And the amount of benefit you hope to give to these people is way out of line than what will actually happen. Okay? Because of the language. Yeah, seriously, because you're in the bubble. All of you guys are in the bubble. So I'm not going to summarize 2 hours in 2 hours. I'm going to try to summarize it in a few minutes if I can. Basically, my point was, hey guys, let's start here. Hey, 3 volunteers who are about to go there and 40 people who are about to go there. By the way, you're all in college. Raise your hand if you think you're smart. Smart, yeah, everyone raise their hand, yeah. Okay, what's the capital of El Salvador? Some phones pop out and they Wikipedia. No, you didn't look, did you? You have no idea what the capital is. Tell me about the 4 most famous or biggest cities in the country. Nobody has any idea. Who's the current president? No idea. And I'm like, oh, wow. What's the name of the currency that they have in El Salvador? Raise your hand if you know. No one raised their hand. You live in the bubble, y'all. You live in this little bubble. You didn't even think about, like, these are so fucking obvious. You know, if you're actually planning, you guys spent 8 months planning this trip there? You spent like countless hours buying plane tickets and finding the perfect time to fucking go. And then you spent like tons of time like planning how you're going to word the email you're about to send to these people. Yeah, you did your goddamn best because you're so fucking smart. But you didn't even check the Wikipedia page of the goddamn country you're about to go. Your priorities are out of place because you're in the bubble. And when you live in the bubble, you don't think that way. When you live in the bubble, all you think is, oh, can I go with my friends? Yes. Oh, will there be people that will help me with language? Great. Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm about to go and volunteer to go to El Salvador. You do that, honey. Oh, great, I shall. I'll put that on my resume because I can say I'm a world volunteer and I speak Spanish. Yeah, because I'm going on this volunteer trip with my college and they're doing all the sorting and stuff. Oh my God, I love travel. I'm going to tell all my friends that travel is the way to go. And I am a goddamn, so I'm not only a great engineer, but I'm a great engineer internationally. Absolutely. Hey, how do you say hello? Hola. Great. How do you say my name is? My name is Brian, for example. And they're like, I'll figure that out when I get there. Will you now? Will you? Nope. And so part of my communication to these folks was, here's what's actually going to happen, folks. Because you live in this little bubble, because you think you're so smart, because you're so much better than, because when you actually believe, like, you're so smart and such a wonderful volunteer, and you're doing such a wonderful job, and you're doing everything right, in your mind, oh, you go to El Salvador, and everyone's going to love you because, oh, you're the volunteering your time to come over there. They're going to lay down a red carpet, of course. And then they're going to invite you to dinner and drinks, of course. And then they're going to appreciate you for the rest of your life. Yeah. And, yeah, absolutely. Thank God you're here. Oh my God, you're a hero of the world. And then you go there and you know everybody, and then you're going to be pen pals with everyone for life because you're going to be the volunteer guy. I was like, Cool thought, bro. Now, if you spoke Spanish, that's perfectly true. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. But you don't, did you? Yeah, I mean, you never even looked into it. You never even like learned how to say hello, did you? Yep. You never even learned the word engineering. You know, you never like learn the word volunteer, voluntario. You don't even know that one. Here's what's actually going to happen. Because you live in the bubble, you're going to go down right there, you know, to El Salvador. And then they're going to invite you out for a big dinner because they're going to want to bang out all 40 of you at once if they can. And here's what happens next. You sit next to perhaps a person here that speaks Spanish to your left or right, and you're going to like, maybe, if you're lucky and you're really smart, hola, me llamo Miguel, me llamo Brad, me llamo Ban. Me llamo Mateo, me llamo Juan. And that's it. Yep. And nothing else happens the entire evening. You don't do shit. You just sit there in silence next to each other, you know, for the entire evening. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Prove me wrong. Yeah. Do you know any more Spanish words than that? Well, you expected El Salvador poor people on the countryside to be like perfectly fluent in English, did you? Nice. Yeah. But you're the smart guy that showed up to this country to help the people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you didn't even Wikipedia the fucking thing. And you didn't even say hello. You didn't even learn how to count to 10. You didn't even learn how to say cheers. Salud, by the way. Yeah, you didn't even learn that. You have no idea what the fuck is going on. Were you expecting a red carpet? Yeah, you're expecting a red carpet to lay down in front of you, and you're expected like people to love you and praise you as some sort of genius champion that just showed up to their neighborhood to show them what's what about the world. Fuck you. You know? Okay, I'm down with the volunteering thing. I'm down with the help out thing. I'm down with the meet the people thing. I'm down with all of this. What I'm not down with is your just ridiculous ass belief that you can live in the bubble here and not put forth zero effort and then magically get loved by millions of people easily and effortlessly into perpetuity. You're in for a rude awakening, my friend. You know, not because El Salvador is a bad country. No. Because your mind lives in the fucking bubble, my friend. You have no concept, you know, of what you're going into. And the worst part is, bless these folks' heart. And I keep saying both sides, thank you for making the trip. Thank you for going. Thank you for thinking about it. Thank you for going down there. It's not worth zero. Right. But you're not being like you're not the number one volunteer and going to get praised for life either. Because you're a fool. You're a total fool. I mean, and I brought up to these folks at this particular convention or at this college talk, I'm like, okay, so guys, what do you think if, let's say, a Chinese guy wanted to come to America, has no idea if California is on the east or west coast? No idea. No idea where the current president is, speaks absolutely zero English, totally illiterate in every possible way, and does not look anybody in the eyes ever, can't even introduce himself, and his name is ridiculous to pronounce. You know, for example, like Peng Shi Donghua. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, fuck that. Okay, yeah, whoever that guy is, huh? You know, and on top of that, has absolutely no ability to talk to anybody, go anywhere, or leave his circle in any way. Oh, but he's got a PhD in engineering, and he's the guy that you want to have work at your company. Cool thought, bro. Cool thought, bro. Really. The average American person would look at him as a fool. Absolute fucking fool. Like, why would you show up here and then expect to be awesome and expect all of us to just love you and respect you and lay out red carpet. I mean, honestly, as an American, I would feel sorry for this guy. Like, I don't know, could I buy a cup of coffee because your life sucks so much? I'll buy it on your behalf and order it, and then you can sit there and drink that in silence because we sure as fuck aren't going to get anything done. Yeah. Oh, he is a great networker. Fuck you. No, he isn't. Yeah, he's a fool. Yeah. Oh, well, he can fix anything and he can set up, he's a national, or international businessman. That's fine. Fuck you. I can't even say hi to the guy. So, yeah. Again, all I'm saying is the average American will look at him as a fool, as a fucking fool, because he is a fool. So I told ideas like this to my engineering friends, at said college in Mankato. And it was kind of a quiet room. It was afterwards, they were expecting some sort of international, good for you, rah, 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 continue the fight, help the world, bring water to the masses, hooray. No, it was the opposite of that. Like, you guys are fucking fools. Yeah, prove me wrong. Yeah. And anyway, I was really glad because a lot of those students were my friends. And 6 months later, I got the report back, from like 4 or 5, of said people. And they were like, oh my God, Brad, absolutely. Every single word you said was 100% exactly true. 100%. Yep. I was in El Salvador with zero autonomy of any kind. I couldn't change money, couldn't buy a soda, couldn't walk outside, could not leave my group, could not talk to anybody. I made zero friends in El Salvador. I sat there in silence at dinner. I didn't know what to say to anybody. I couldn't drive a car, couldn't call a taxi, couldn't go out, couldn't do anything. So I was stuck inside in my room with my other little expat friends that came with me, and I made zero connections. I don't remember anybody's name that I met. And the whole time, it was kind of an awkward-ass, shitty-ass dinner. And I wasn't really excited about meeting them again anyway. We only had 2 volunteers who spoke Spanish, and their Spanish sucked. And so I basically had to hang with my Spanish friends, Spanish-speaking, your chaperone friends, if I want to go anywhere for any reason and talk to anybody. Yeah. Told you. It's not very complicated, my friends. Not complicated at all. Yeah. That's predictable as it gets. So, why did I tell this to these folks? Why do I bring it up now? We're talking about Vietnam. Yep. All of that's analogous, my friends. All of that is exactly analogous to right here, right now. Absolutely. Hey, and by the way, Mike, you pointed out, it's never too late to get your shit together. Especially true for you, buddy. But with that said, I got to say, with Vietnamese people, or no, let me rephrase. Okay. You brought up a great point that got me thinking. Okay, let's use this as a metaphor. Phone cards. Okay. I bring up to folks like, hey, you're traveling for a month? Yeah, you should get a phone card thing. And if I catch them in the first week out of 4, they're going to be like, no, I'm going to keep weighing my options and find out if I need one or not. Great. If I ask them in the second week, they're like, yeah, maybe, but we've made it a week so far and haven't needed it yet. So ask them week number 3. Oh, well, we're almost done with our trip. So no, it's not really worth it. Ask them week number 4 and they're like, nah, yeah, we're about to leave anyway. It's not worth the hassle. They never got a phone card. Their life was tragically difficult and super fucking hard and totally lacked any maps of any kind, lacked Google Translate, lacked, maps, researching anything, lacked like the ability to communicate something, lacked all Facebook and Messenger friends that you could otherwise make. Oh, let me scan this. All that's gone. You met somebody. Hey, man, if you want to have absolutely zero data of any kind throughout your trip, that's fine. That's cool, bro. But man, that sucks way more than having it. It really does. By a long shot. To tie that back in. Oh, well, I'll just be here in Vietnam for a year, so it's not worth the hassle to learn Vietnamese. I got this, plus I got 100 expat friends sitting right over here, and then they've been translating for me. And, oh, by the way, the woman that works at my front desk at my homestay, oh, man, if I need anything, she is such a good friend. She'll help me out. So, Brad, fuck you. I don't need to learn Vietnamese because fuck you. I got to figure it out. And you know what? You said life is hard here without Vietnamese, but fuck you. I figured it out, man. We're doing great. Are you now? Did you now? You got it, or don't you? You do you, man. You do you, hon. If your Grab guy calls you on the phone, can you answer him and tell him where you are located, yes or no? If you need to pick up the phone and call someone and order ice cream and order beer, can you call them, yes or no? If you get married to a Vietnamese man or woman, can you greet their parent, your spouse's parents, properly, yes or no? If your tire goes flat, can you ask someone where to replace your tire? Yes or no? If you got to call the fan guy to find out if he gets a discount if you buy 3 fans versus 1, for example, it's $350 for 1. Could you get let's say 3 of them for $900? Can you pick up the phone and call that man and ask him, I want 3 fans for $900 and free delivery. Here's my address. Click. Can you do that? Yes or no? That is so fucking easy to do. It's so fucking easy. That fan phone call. Oh my God. It would take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I can show you every fucking word you need to make that happen. All of them. Can you do that? Yes or no? No. You've been here 5 years? Is that right? You're such a local. Is that right? Yeah. All right. So anyway, so this timing thing when it comes to the language thing, I run across a few cross sections of people. Some are like, oh, I'm just here for a month, so it's not worth the effort. I'm like, counting at 10 takes 5 minutes. Wow. On average, it takes 7. Sometimes it takes 5, sometimes it takes 9. But let's say 10 minutes, just to be fun. 10 minutes is all it takes to count to 10. I'll just be here for 3 weeks, so it's not worth it, Brad. That's fine. Just so you know, you live here. You live in the bubble, bro. You can't buy anything from anybody, anywhere. You're going to be pantomiming, grunting, your whole life. Tell me again about you're such a vlogger, world traveler, off the beaten track, motherfucker. Yeah, you're so smart. You're so good. You integrate into the culture. Nicely done. Yeah, you know everything there is to know about being a local. Yeah. But you can't count to 10. Yeah. Someone overcharges you by double. You have no fucking idea that they even did. Yeah. People walk right in front of you and they pay like $15,000, $15,000, $15,000, $15,000, $15,000, $15,000, $15,000. And then you show up and like $35,000. You're like, okay. Tell me again how you're so fucking smart. Yeah. They ripped you up and laugh about it. Sure did. Anyway, hey, let's get to more positive stuff though, right? Okay. Now, to get to a more positive, Okay. Mike, been suspending enthusiasm because I was told I was likely to be denied passport. Floodgates have opened, and you're going to be my go-to guy. All right. All right. Well, terrific, Mike. I'd be delighted to help if I may, buddy. And I specialize in special situations for special people. So sounds terrific, my friend. And okay. And once again, I wanted to be very clear that sure, I offer services and charge money for my services. So one thing I want to say very clearly right now is that hey, I love to give all the information I can for free to anybody at any given time. Great. In fact, if I had 100, 5, 10, 100,000, 100,000 people that got free shit from me for the rest of my life, sweet. That's what I'm all about. Now, with that said, I do have an option for folks that want to become more personal or private, etc. What that means is if you want to talk to me more directly and personally and find out something more specific to your exact situation, cool. I offer the first 2 hours free, which is sweet. And most things can be banged out in 2 hours. Sweet. Everybody wins here. Now, there are some circumstances that require more than 2 hours. For example, building a life here for 6 months, let's just say. Yeah, I cannot describe 6 months worth of living and ideal everything in 2 hours. Okay. So with that said, sure, you might find yourself paying me a little bit of money. Great. But here's the thing. I'm a tenfold guy. What that means is if you find yourself paying me $1 million, I'll save you 10 million. Oh, yeah. If you paid me $1.5 million, I'll save you 15 million. Easily. Yeah. So it's been kind of nice, to be able to bridge these gaps between, like, let's say, the expat bubble situation and the folks that want to come here. Building a bridge between the two is definitely the way to go. So, here, I'm going to do something special. All right, victory. Forgive the delay. All right. So, hey, by the way, Rachel, while we're on the topic, holler at me whenever you want, hon. Yeah, like I said, the first round's free, so who gives a shit, right? Yeah, just show up and you know me already. I'm pretty non-obligation, Okay, so I'm gonna fire this one up. No. What I wanted to talk about real quick is job and work environment. Okay, here's the deal. I've worked in a variety of environments in my day, okay? I've been a volunteer for quite some time under a lot of circumstances in actually a handful of countries. Great. And I've actually built a computer lab in Vietnam. Great. At the TTM school, by the way. Story of its own. And I just love everything about the idea of volunteering and ultimately making it out and working with local folks. And I can tell you, I got like pistol whipped in the face for being arrogant. I got pistol whipped in the face, and punched in the face many times over 10 years for being an arrogant prick. Because, no fault of my own, I was born with American exceptionalism in my own case. What that means is I was born being trained from birth, so to speak, that I am I was raised from birth that I am more special, smarter, better, and otherwise more qualified and superior to other people on earth. This was my upbringing. Okay. Now, this was, I mean, as a mother and father would, they were like, oh, you're so special. You're so smart. Every time I did something right, my parents were like, you're so smart. They were exceptionally great parents. That's what good parents do, is they tell you as a child, you're smart. Keep trying. Yay. We're so proud of you. Yeah. So 100% of my input from my parents was, hey, you're wonderful. Keep doing it. Thanks, Mom and Dad, by the way. They did everything right. Yeah. Okay. So that part's cool. Along the way, as it turned out, I did pretty reasonably well with, high school, which is to say I kind of figured out the system and did really well in each class that I happened to attend and happened to stand out, in those circumstances. And so other students and my teacher would be like, you're so smart. Great. Here's I did math league and then got like the event D and event C, like, a state award because I was super good at, okay, whatever. I got accolades everywhere. Great. All of this is good stuff. However, at some point, I find myself at, like, let's say age 18, and 100% of my life input has been, you're awesome, Brad. You know what's going on. You're doing everything right. And based on my accolades so far, they're correct. Yeah. So here I am at 18 years old as a volunteer in Lima, Peru. In my own case, at an orphanage, which is awesome. And I had 3 months there and whatnot. 0 people speak English. Sweet. So I learned Spanish and kind of went from there. And yeah, they proved to be the great teachers and life is good. Everything is amazing. So far, so good. Right. The problem is, if an American person says to me, hey, Brad, you should go and sort them out. You should go and help them become better. You should go and help them become better people and improve their situation. Makes sense on the surface. The problem is your mind gets in the goddamn bubble. So you start to think that, I start to think that, American electricity is better than Peruvian electricity. Yeah. The American dollar is stronger than the Peruvian Sole in that case. American people are richer than Peruvian people. Yeah, American people have better opportunities than Peruvian people, don't they? American houses are cleaner than Peruvian houses. American people have more access to technology than Peruvian people. And I'm from America. I'm king shit. Yeah. I'm the guy that came here to save your world. Yeah. I'm the guy here to show you what's what. Yeah. Because I'm so fucking smart. Yep. I am the guy. You wish you could be me, don't you? You wish you were born in America, don't you? Yeah. You wish that you could speak English as good as I am. What? There's 20 of you that want to speak English as good as me? One at a time, kids. Slow down. I'll teach y'all one by one. Don't you worry. I'm so fucking smart. I will teach every single one of you when I have time, if I feel like it. But, oh, you want to pay me to teach you guys English? Of course you would. Because I'm so fucking smart and I'm so fucking superior to you. Yep. Of course you want to go to America, don't you? Yeah. Peru sucks and America rocks. Yeah, I understand that. But, first things first, you got to be as awesome as me. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. You got to really learn how the American system really works. And then if you play your cards right, you'll be as awesome as me. Oh, I can't offer you a visa. You get the idea, right? American exceptionalism. I'm so fucking smart, aren't I? So fucking smart. That's all one big fucking lie. That's all a lie. That's all a complete lie. Everything I just said right there is all a complete lie. Is it true in a tiny perspective? Sure. I'm not totally wrong. But is it right? Nope. It's a fucking lie. In reality, every positive thing I think about myself, every positive thing and everything I just said, all becomes a negative. Because, let's face it, here I'm in Peru, I got to learn Spanish from the start. I don't know shit about Peru. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how life is. I don't know what they're after. I don't know the way that they solve problems. I don't know their communication mediums. I don't know their technology or what guy to call. And for that matter, I have no idea about the social aspects of it. To say it differently, I don't know a guy named Juan who's able to fix cars. No, I don't know shit. In reality, I'm an absolute idiot. Yeah, in reality, if you really want to look at it that way. Right. Everyone's conditioned to believe that you're automatically awesome and automatically smart, and you can go and show people what's what. Right. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that in its own right, and it's not wrong in its own tiny little bubble way of thinking. But in reality, in the big picture, as we would say in Vietnamese, phuc, P-H-U-C-T-A-P. Phuc tap. That's phuc tap. It's a phuc tap way of thinking. Yeah, absolutely. It's complicated, my friends. Now, let's zoom in a little bit. My buddy, or my great uncle Pat, he came to Vietnam. And he was in Vung Tau, as a matter of fact. And while Uncle Pat, was in Vung Tau, he was stationed there for 2 years, back in the 60s, of course. Stayed at the base there, met people there, had his Jeep there. Everything is awesome with his life. Yep. Exceptionalism, American exceptionalism. He was praised as the smartest guy there. He was shipped all over there because of his intelligence, because of his ability. Yep. Flying helicopters, driving Jeeps, working with the military. Yes, sir. Did everything absolutely right. On top of all that, he got paid a boatload of money, forgive the pun, a Jeep load of money in order to do his job. So every bar he walked into, every place he went, everybody knew he's the richest guy there. It's so fucking easy to walk around and be like, I'm king shit. And you know what? A lot of times you're right. But are you? Are you? He never learned to count to 10. Ever. All of his friends were expat friends. And other military guys. He had no idea what's going on. He never once made friends with any Vietnamese person ever. Oh, I know everything there is to know about Vung Tau. I lived there for 2 years. I'm an expert. Oh, yeah. I could show you all the places to hang out, the best place to get beer. Yeah, buddy. I'm so fucking smart. And everywhere I went, everyone loved me. Yeah, because I'm so fucking smart and rich and I know what's going on. And Really? Look at yourself in the mirror. Really? So anyway, one day he was driving down the goddamn roads, and he saw a bunch of fishermen, and they were pulling their nets from the shore to the road because obviously they want to load their stuff in Jeeps or whatever, right? And Uncle Pat, was like, "Oh, got this figured out. Let's do this." Headed out and was like, "Hey guys!" And of course, he speaks zero Vietnamese, so he just pantomimed, "Net, net, truck, trailer hitch, connect, ah." Okay, they connected that shit up, and then he took off in his Jeep to help them pull the fishing nets full of fish from the ocean all the way up onto the road, because he's so fucking smart. He's got this all figured out. He's been out here for years. He's good at a lot of things. He's been helping people left and right. He's got the American truck with the American Jeep and the American way of thinking. Yeah. And these poor goddamn fishermen people are just stuck here dragging nets by hand. Those poor bastards. Let me show you how much we love you. Yeah. His way of thinking is in a certain way is right. What actually happened? Well, as he was pulling his truck forward, the nets ripped to shit. Yeah, because they were not used to, a truck pulling them. They're used to humans pulling them, so they're not very strong. Right. They're not American nylon, propylene, blah nets. No, these are made from like goddamn, coconut shit. Coconut fibers twisted together by. Right. He didn't think of that because he's so fucking smart. So as a result, there was a Jeep up on the edge of up by the road, and all these nets are turned to shit, and all their fish are flopping away. And not only are all their fish gone, or most of them gone, but on top of that, their nets and their entire livelihood are trash. Why? You're so fucking smart, aren't you? Yeah, you think you got this figured out, bro, don't you? You think you can live in a bubble and then like just randomly show up in Vietnam and then randomly talk to people you've never met, doing a business you've never really encountered, and then just nail it the first try and then show them what's what? Yeah, because you're so fucking smart. Really? Is that how it's going to go? That's what actually happened. Then what? Do you pay the guy? Like, sorry for breaking your net, bro. Yeah, I mean, do you walk away? Do you just stand there and stammer? I mean, if you completely lack the language, they ended up standing there like, you end up just driving away. Cool thought, bro. You're so fucking smart, aren't you? Yeah. That's one example. That's just a small example. But that's a metaphor for a lot of other things here. A different example would be, I've got a buddy of mine who works as a bar. What would be the English word for this? A front man, a doorman, a bar partner, a professional socializer guy. I would say front man. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't say bartender. Host. Thank you, Pablo. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll light up another. So I'm going to go here. Thank you, buddy. And actually, by the way, while we're on the topic, thank you for the word host, but okay. All right. So I bring him up because okay, I've got a buddy of mine who's an expat host. Okay. And I'll just call him C for right now. C, Buddy C. Now he's a white guy, of course, but one day he approached me and was like, "Yeah, Brad, I'm kind of bored these days, you know?" And I'm like, "Really? Tell me more." And he was like, I don't know. In his words, he was like, "It's getting kind of rough out here, but most importantly, I hate the Vietnamese staff. I really do. You know, they don't listen to me anyway, and they don't really know what's going on. And every time I give them a suggestion, they don't even like go with it. And fuck, I feel like I'm an undervalued person at this bar. They don't really, they don't really respect, my credentials and who I am and whatnot. So I'm having a tough time here, you know. And I'm like, normally, if I was a normal in the bubble person, I'd be like, "Oh man, that sounds shitty. Why don't they get you? God damn it! Don't they know you're smart? Oh my god, yeah." But I know what really happened. What really happened is arrogance. Arrogance. And I can't say American exceptionalism because this fellow's from England in this particular case. Same concept though. In his mind, he is like, I took like a goddamn national leadership convention seminar, and then I got a certification after that seminar on how to be a perfect manager. Yeah, cool thought, bro. Hey, and he's like, I worked in a bar in America for 20 years, so I know exactly how all this shit should work. Yeah, cool thought, bro. And I know how to manage employees and then do infrastructure systems, and I know how to do like social media networking and advertising shit and whatnot. I'm a goddamn pro at that. Cool thought, bro. So he's telling me all this stuff, but I'm like, well, I believe you, bro. I believe that you are super qualified. I believe everything you just said right now. I really do. But you know what? You never once asked Vietnamese people, how do you do it? You're living in a bubble, bro. You're living in a bubble. Like you think you're so fucking smart. You think you got this all figured out because I got these credentials. I got this on my resume. I studied this thing. I have this much experience. I'm from a first world country and you're from a third world country. Fuck you, sir. I know what's going on and you don't. I'm here to teach you how life should actually be. Yeah, because I'm so fucking smart. Are you now? What's the word for drink in Vietnamese? Yeah. What's the word for 4 bottles of beer? Bon chat beer. Yeah. What's the word for like service? Phục vụ. Yeah. Phục vụ. Okay. What's the word for employee? Nhân viên. What's the word for like after hours bar? Yeah, quán bar. Yeah. He didn't know any of those. So he's sitting here as a professional bartender in Vietnam. Professional, air quotes. He doesn't even know the word bar or bartender or after hours bar or drink special or anything. But he's so fucking smart because he has all these fucking credentials. He's in the bubble, my friends. He's in the bubble. Within this bubble, you think all your credentials matter. You think, oh, yeah, if I'm in my home country, all this matters. Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter here, man. You're in the bubble, man. You think you're so smart, but you're not. That's what makes you dumb. That's what blinds you. That's what makes you not understand what's happening. Yeah. And when he says things like, I just tell shit to my employees and then they don't even listen. Oh my God, don't they know I'm a manager? They got to do what I say. In reality, I'm like, did you ever ask them in Vietnamese, how do you go about your daily life? And then just sit there and shut the fuck up for a day and then just watch your employees and then do everything exactly like them. Just to get out of the bubble, sometimes you don't have to try that hard. Sometimes to get out of the bubble, you just got to shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Yeah. How do you do it? What's your way of thinking? You've been a server in Vietnam for 10 years. How do you go about it? What do you say? How do you treat people? What's your mannerisms and actions and so forth? Because I work at a bar and because I'm an expert means nothing. I'm here in your country and I'm here to work at your bar. So you tell me, what do you do? Better yet, let me just watch. I'm not going to give any judgments. No, I'm just going to sit and watch. And why do you do it that way? Oh, okay. 0 suggestions. Great. You talk to people nicely. And what do you say to normal people? Send mine. Yeah. Rachel, you keep smiling, hon. Thank you for joining us, hon. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of your, comments, etc. And enjoy your damn self. We'll see you at a different time. Catch the rest of this later if you're so inclined. Cheers. In the meantime, if you were to walk into a situation and ask questions and copy the people that are there with pure humility, 0 arrogance, and if you were to walk into a situation, I'm king shit. I know exactly how shit works here. I know exactly how to make shit happen. I'm going to revolutionize your business because I'm so fucking smart and I am the man that is going to make all this happen. Fuck you. If you walk in and you're like, hello, yeah, I know a lot, but I want to meet all of you and be nice to all of you. And I want to learn from all of you. And I want to see how life is. And then as time goes on, I will hope that I can contribute something eventually. You win. Life in the bubble, life with humility. This is a huge, huge, huge deal when it comes to working in Vietnam. For that matter, it's also true when working in any country, for that matter, any business at any time, is this open-minded aspect. Now, I bring this up because a lot of expats want to work in a bar or restaurant in some capacity, whether it's a doorman, host, sort of person, or a cook, or consultant, or waiter, waitress, etc. By the way, I want to say all great plans. All of them are great. Great ideas. Could you do it? Could you make a living here? Could you make it happen? Yes, 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 and yes. Absolutely. Now, could you do so with an arrogant mentality? Potentially. But it's going to suck a lot more. Absolutely. Now, to zoom in to some of my friends who work at a hostel bar kind of setup, I would say some of my friends are like, yeah, I'm getting kind of bored here. I already know. Why? Well, sure, I talk to the staff from time to time, and sure, they're cool people and life is good here and the job is mildly fulfilling, but the bubble. the hostel bubble. What does this mean? Well, it works kind of like this. Hey, I 6 days a week I work at the hostel. Yeah. And when I'm done working at the hostel, I go home to my house, and my 2 other roommates work at the hostel. Yeah. And along the way, whenever I want to go on vacation, I go on vacation with my roommates from the hostel, or I go to another hostel of ours in another city and hang out with people from the hostel in that city. Yeah. When I have a day off, I go to the hostel to have some beers. Yeah. My other friends are working anyway, so what the hell? So, yeah, it's not a bad life. It's really convenient because I show up here, work at this hostel. All I need to do is speak English, talk to these people here, get this done here. I get a house provided for me. I get a steady paycheck. Life is fucking magical. Sure is. Every single thing about this plan is good. I agree with all of it. And in fact, and for the right people, I would suggest them to do that exact same thing. Yep, everything about this is great, except 3 months in, you're like, fuck, I don't know anybody. I don't even know the name of the street that I live on. And my only friends here at the hostel are other people that also speak English, just so happened. Yep. And all the other people that are my friends are, I mean, real friends. I shouldn't use quote marks, but fuck. That's like, what, 4 people? So you hang out with the same 4 people every fucking day, 7 days a week, and nobody else? I see. When you go home and you want to do something different, people from the hostel. Yep. While you're at the hostel, you talk to people from the hostel. When you go home, you hang out with other people who work at the hostel. Yeah. And then you talk about what happened at the hostel. Right. Because you got to go to bed early because you got to wake up tomorrow morning to go back to the hostel. Yeah. With your other roommate who also works at the hostel. Yeah. Yeah. Fast forward 4 years, you can't count to 10. If you made it 4 years, that'd be impressive. But let's just say 1 year, you can't count to 10. You don't know shit. You have no idea what's actually happening. In fact, if the hostel, showed you one contract just from the internet, people, you'd be like, I have no fucking idea what this says. Absolutely no clue. I know 0 out of 4,000 words on this contract. Hand it to another employee. I'll take care of it. Yep. On top of that, here's the thing. The Vietnamese people, they make like 20,000 dong an hour. Yeah. And then you, because you walked in as an expat who speaks 0 Vietnamese but only speaks English, you get 200,000 dong an hour. Yeah. So the Vietnamese employees get like 70 cents an hour, while you get like minimum wage of $7.50 an hour. Yeah. You get paid 10 times more than all other employees there. And as an employee at the bar or restaurant, you don't do shit. Yeah. You could really fucking do nothing and just stand there with a smile and shake hands and like give beer to people and welcome people in. And then you get paid 10 times more than all the other people doing all of the work. Here's a question for you. Do you think that would cause at least 1% resentment between you and the other employees there? Is it possible? Is it possible that occasionally the other employees there would feel a little dismayed because you just showed up? They studied their asses off to learn English and worked super hard to serve everybody. You spent you, Mr. Hostile Employee Guy, spent zero effort to learn anything and still can't count to 10 after 2 years and have no idea what's going on and do zero work, and you get paid 10 times more. Let's be real here. How long would it take for resentment to build? One day, yeah. I think that's the answer. One day. Yeah, pretty much immediately everyone kind of, sort of, in some way hates you. Yeah, because fuck you, you arrogant fuck. You show up here, and just because of your native English speaking ability, you automatically show up and get paid 10 times more than us with zero hoops to jump through, with zero effort of any kind, and do zero work while you're here. Fuck you. Yep, totally a thing. Totally real. So, when I meet, I would say white folks, working at bars or restaurants, that otherwise don't put in the effort and don't really get after it, and ultimately get overpaid, etc. Yeah, they're not respected and they're not integrated. They don't know what's really, really, really going on, what really is really happening, and that people they meet at the bar are not their real friends. They're just people that say hi to them occasionally in English. Right. Then when they tell me after about 6 months they're bored, I'm like, totally get it, bro. You haven't met a single Vietnamese person yet. You haven't met a single Vietnamese person yet, like really, really. You have no life outside of the hostel bar and your hostel friends and other expats here. You're in the hostel bubble. You're in the hostel bubble. Hey, is it fun? Yes. Do you get free drinks? Sure do. Will you make a lot of friends while you're there? Sure will. For a day, for an hour, for a minute? Sure. Is it going to be lifelong fulfilling? I doubt it. And when I say I doubt it, I mean, like, I'm talking to, like, let's say 7 of my hostel working friends who are all like depressed / sad / darn near done with it. Right. Because you live in a fucking bubble. You live in a bubble. If you would just learn Vietnamese, your life is easy. If you would just learn Vietnamese, you can buy all this shit yourself. If you just learn Vietnamese, you'll get paid even 2 times more because you can communicate with all employees regardless of language level. In fact, if you don't speak Vietnamese, you can only work in an English-speaking hostel. However, if you speak Vietnamese, you can work at any hotel, hostel, anywhere in the entire country, no goddamn problem. So, yeah, I keep saying it over and over again. Learning Vietnamese is the way to roll. Mm-hmm. And, okay, so I'm going to switch topics. And I want to say, here's the antidote to the entire works. Here's the antidote. And I'm going to scoot in and make this happen accordingly. All right. And potentially light a smoke. Okay. Here's the antidote, for the whole thing. Okay. Here is the opposite to having like an otherwise arrogant life or otherwise, being a champ about it, knowing what I'm talking about, I'm king shit, etc. Here's the antidote to exceptionalism. The antidote is working in a field that you don't really know, or in my own case, I worked construction at a Vietnamese job site. That was pretty cool. Now, here's the thing. I am very good at construction, and I worked at my dad's company for many years, kicking some ass. Great. And I've seen the best of the best. I'm very familiar with architecture, mathematics, what needs to be done, what doesn't. I'm super familiar with safety standards, OSHA standards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, if you were to quiz me on an American job site, I'm a fucking pro, okay? So, said differently, I really, really sort of kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to an American job site. Okay. That doesn't mean shit, when I'm sitting in Vietnam. So let me say this differently. Okay. And yeah, every time I light a cigarette means I'm getting at a good point. Okay. This is my emphatic cigarette. I want to bring up a point right now. I worked at my buddy Moon's house, and he needed to put a new addition on his house and a new roof, which requires like roofing, goddamn bricks, mortar, obviously, concrete floors, tile work, goddamn electrical work, outlets, painting, priming, prepping, and then false ceiling, blah, 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 blah. And I bring this up because this is a perfect situation. Zero, almost zero of my American experience is relevant here. In other words, their roofs are different. The way they build walls is not 2x4 stick built. No, it's totally different. It's all bricks and concrete. Bricks they make themselves. And. I'm not going to sit here and describe every detail of the Vietnamese job site, but safe to say, my experience is irrelevant to the current situation. Along the way, 0% of the workers on the Vietnamese job site spoke any English in any way, shape, or form, other than maybe a hello. Hello. That's it. So here I am, as a white guy, showing up to a job site with 15 employees, building something I've never seen, using materials I've never used, speaking in Vietnamese. I shouldn't say a language I've never heard. Obviously I know it, but talking about topics I've never heard. My Vietnamese is good, but I don't know like full ceiling and floor tile is level. Grout. I wouldn't know that word, let's just say. To phrase it differently, I showed up at this job site as an idiot. I have no idea what I'm doing. As a result, I talk with the Vietnamese people here. I shut up and looked. I have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and only 1 mouth. And I don't use my mouth very often. Nope. I just shut up. I want to watch you guys. And I want to see what you're doing, hear how this is going. And I want to help where I can. Oh. This roof, I have 0 suggestions. I just want to sit and watch you for an hour. Put this roof up. Okay. Corrugated plastic. Okay. Fiberglass. Okay. This is how you connect those 2 pieces. Can I hand you a piece? Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. And then you want to nail that in, but you use bolts, but you use a 13 mil ratchet thing to put that in. That would make sense, I guess. But you needed 2 people, one below and below. Okay, yep. I just sit there for an hour while drinking beer, of course. I mean, you might as well. And sit there drinking beer and just watch and shut my mouth. How do you do it? How can I help? Oh, pass us this sheet. Great. Give us this size, this size bit or whatever the case is. Okay. So as an ultra humble, ultra not smart, not expert guy with zero agenda, with zero arrogance, with zero, I will show you expertise and what's what. I show up as a guy who I'm like, I know nothing. I'm just here to learn. I'm just here to love. And here to help. And I watch and then I help. And overall, people are like, the people there are like, wow, Brad, you are the best guy we've ever had help us ever in history. Thank you. You are amazing. We love you. You are just such a great guy to work with. You work with us so well. You're so helpful. You're so amazing. And we want to have you for beers afterwards. There we are drinking a case of beer. I want to contrast that with, I'm a construction expert. I know exactly what's going on. I will show you guys, what's happening here. I will show you guys what's what. I will make it work. Yeah. I'm King Dingling. I'm Kim Shit. I am the construction expert with a goddamn, architectural degree. Yeah. Listen to me and I'll tell you what's what. And if you follow my advice, you're going to be winning. You're not wrong, but you're not right. So anyway, when we talk about living in the small bubble versus the broader world, a big factor of this is arrogance. If you believe you are so smart, if you believe you are a champion, if you believe you are the person to make it happen, the expert, etc., you failed before you started. Show up with an open mind. Shut up. 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. Show up and be humble. Show up and listen. Show up and do it the Vietnamese way. So, so great. I want to point that out. Now, subject change. Okay. Now, one other topic I wanted to get at was your local neighborhood. Okay. I got to make sure I click there. Okay. Okay. Gossip. Okay. I want to point this out. Yep. By the way, I suggest to everybody, a fun exercise is to go to YouTube and just type in dark side of Vietnam, downside of Vietnam, cons of living in Vietnam, any negative video you could possibly find. And predictably, every negative experience is going to be similar, said differently. A lot of comments are going to be to the effect of, I'm in my neighborhood and people just stare at me, talk about me, and take my picture, and I don't know why, and I don't know what they're saying, but I can look at their faces and they're like negative and yeah. Oh, or you see things like, oh, I want to find a job in Vietnam, but to be clear, a lot of these negative videos in Vietnam, here's how it sounds. I'm just going to go all dramatic and acty about this, but it sounds like this. Oh, I'm here in Vietnam. I've been working super hard and I had all my credentials. I got all my paperwork in line before I came here. And then I showed up, I followed everyone's advice, and then I got all the way here to Vietnam. And then, oh my God, it's been so hard to find a job. And I've been having such a difficult time with everything. And blah, 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 blah. Along the way, to be clear, they never learned Vietnamese, have no idea how to say hello, have no idea what the word English center is, have no idea what the word teach is, have no idea what the word language is, have no idea how to say like, hello, my name is, have no idea how to say like, hey, I teach English on a one-on-one basis. Hey, I have a lot of credit. Have no idea in Vietnamese how to speak Vietnamese about anything that they want to do in Vietnam. Zero clue whatsoever. Zero clue. And on top of that, they've never learned a language before in their entire life, ever. Never once. Never once. Certainly not Vietnamese while living in Vietnam for 2 years. Tell me again how smart you are. Tell me again how you're an expert in languages. Tell me again, that you're so good at understanding cultures, languages, and people. Tell me again, how you're like the one person that we ought to give our money to and ought to put in front of everybody else, huh? You threw me a lot of pieces of paper, but tell me again how smart you are. Inevitably, people who put forth zero effort in learning Vietnamese, put forth zero effort in learning how to properly teach, put forth zero effort in meeting Vietnamese people, put forth zero effort in socializing and getting to know the social norms, can barely say hi, can't buy anything on their own, do absolutely nothing with related to the language in any way, shape, or form, ultimately are pissed that they don't understand how smart I am. They don't understand that I have a degree. They don't understand that I have a goddamn TESOL certificate. They don't get that. I have 6 months experience. They don't get that I am the best teacher that will ever be here. Say that in Vietnamese, bro. Go ahead. Yeah. Tôi là giáo viên top nha. Và tôi có thể dạy về giao tiếp và với nhau. Và tôi là chuyên gia về dạy ngoại ngữ. Và tôi là chuyên gia về dạy tiếng Anh, có thể dạy kèm hay dạy ở trung tâm. Is that what you meant to say? Oh, you don't know how to say any of that. You mean, I want to teach in an English center. I am able to tutor people individually. And I'm otherwise an expert at language acquisition. I would love to help you to get to the next level. Wouldn't that be nice to know? But you don't. So as a result, when you live in the bubble, you only think about finding jobs by searching online, by finding other jobs that other expats have pointed you to. You only think about finding jobs from people that are otherwise able to speak English and correspond with you in English. You only look for jobs that are on like the expat forums, the teaching forums, the find a job forums. And you're really stuck with like 1 to 5% of total opportunities because you only speak English and only look online. But in your mind, you're like, well, I found 5 places that want me. You're correct. I found 10 places that want me. You're correct. These people want to offer me opportunities here since I'm working so far. You're correct. Everything you just said is right. Except you're missing 99% of the other opportunities. Totally disregarding all of them. Yeah. Never met a Vietnamese person yet, have you? Yeah. You're only working at places that cater to, foreign people that otherwise want to be here, that only speak English, that want to work at places that only require them to speak English, that only want to teach English, you're narrowing yourself down to one tiny, tiny little bubble of a percent of opportunities in Vietnam. Really. Will it work in the long run? Sure, probably, I guess. Yeah, on a long enough timeline in the right place, you'll find something. Sure. Cool. Does that mean you won? Depends on how you measure it. In my opinion, I'm like, you just focused on 1%, my friend. You have a difficulty with that? Oh, you need a contract. You need a work permit. You need to like jump through all their hoops. They got to like vet the fuck out of you. Yeah. I have zero vetting. I have zero credentials. I have zero resume. I have zero any of that because I'm working on the other 99%, y'all. So, look, is it possible to come to Vietnam and speak zero Vietnamese, learn zero Vietnamese, be ridiculously ultra focused and narrow-minded and focus only on English and focus on your own hometown philosophy and ultimately find a job and feed yourself and ultimately make friends and ultimately make it happen? Is that possible? Yes, sure is. That's totally possible. Totally possible. And will it be fun in a superficial sense? Yep, sure will. You'll have a great time. You have absolutely no clue what you're missing. Absolutely no clue, no idea what you're missing. Because what you're missing could not possibly be communicated, to you. You're going to be overpaying for everything that you do. You're going to be artificially stuck in 1% of the population. You're going to be artificially stuck. You cannot you're deaf, mute, and illiterate, my friends. When the Vietnamese teachers are talking about you or otherwise, you have no idea what they're saying. Yeah. I've had friends of mine who are living here in Vietnam who teach in Vietnam, and ultimately they every single time they open up a classroom, it is them plus a Vietnamese person, meaning they have a Vietnamese teaching assistant. They're unable to work alone. They're unable to teach on their own. Despite the fact they're a language teacher, they have no ability to teach other people on their own. In other words, they have no ability to speak Vietnamese, and they have no ability to be an actual teacher. Meantime, a teaching assistant gets paid $30,000 an hour, let's say $1.20, and said white guy who does nothing, studied nothing, learns nothing, and only speaks English only gets paid $15 an hour. Yep, totally real. So anyway, look, let me check real quick. Subject change. I'm just going to get very real right now. And close this out eventually. And I'm going to pour more beer and then light a cigarette and then just tell you what I really think. Okay? I'm going to ramble, by the way. All right. So, major conclusion. Is it possible to come here to Vietnam and live in the bubble indefinitely? Yes. Will your quality of life be pretty good? Yes. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's possible. It's easy. And it can be done. By speaking the language, by knowing the basic words, for each individual situation. You will free yourself. You will find yourself independent, find yourself able to make it happen, able to get shit done, able to integrate into society. It will allow you to see the other 98% that you don't normally see. I've given countless examples in the last 2.5 hours, so I won't bore you with more examples. But what I can say is to put it simple, when I bike around my neighborhood and 70 people say hi, that's awesome. Then I go home and turn on YouTube. I live in a town of 200,000 people and I can't make friends with anybody. I'm so lonely. I cry myself to sleep. I don't know what to do. I don't even know where I live. I don't even know the name of my street. No taxi cab drivers. No anything that I've said. Oh my God. The language barrier is tough. Oh my God. They just shipped me to a city and nobody speaks English here. So I'm so goddamn alone. I don't know what's going on. How's that bubble feel? Doesn't have to be that way. Doesn't have to be that way. Normally, in 7 minutes, a person can learn to count to 10. Normally, in 30 minutes, a person learns how to introduce himself. If we sit and talk for 2 hours, which I offer for free, by the way, person can count to 10, count to all the numbers, introduce himself, and buy and sell anything that they want. Is it worth 2 hours to get out of the bubble for the next few years? I would think so. What percent of people do it? Less than 95. Look, y'all, I want to help you out. I would love to help you out here. But if I were to summarize things out, I would say, A, learn Vietnamese. Learn basic Vietnamese. Okay? I'll give it to you for free on my website. Okay? Learn how to buy and sell stuff. Learn the basic numbers. Learn the basic stuff. That will make your life way better. 2, don't show up arrogant to Vietnam. Don't show up as if you are the expert. Do not show up as if you are so smart, so fucking smart. You know all the fucking ways to do everything. You're the best manager that the world has ever seen, and you're here to revolutionize the country. Do not think that, because it's not true. Do not show up here as if you're king shit and you speak the dominant language, hence you're super smart. People in Vietnam will tell you, oh, you learn English, you're so smart, I want to learn from you. Yep, you're going to hear that. Oh, you get paid 10 times more than me because you're a native speaker of English. Oh, I want to learn from you. You're going to hear that. When you teach at our school, don't speak Vietnamese to anybody because we are just an English-only school. You're going to hear that. Hey, Vietnamese is super hard. It's a tonal language, and there's no way you'll ever get it. You're going to hear that. Hey, I've been here for 5 years, and I have never learned any Vietnamese, and everything has been so far so good. Yeah, so I wouldn't bother with it. It's just some like lower language that some people speak sometimes. You don't really need it while you're here. After all, look at me. I've been here for this many years and I haven't learned it yet, and everything has been fine. You're going to hear that. But at some point, you are deaf, mute, and illiterate. And by the way, the word in Vietnamese for living in the bubble, they don't have a euphemism like that. Instead, in Vietnamese, they say, em longkin, 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 which means like glass cage, is what they say in Vietnamese. Also, by the way, when a newborn infant gets birthed that is premature, they get put in a glass. In English, we would call it an incubator, a glass incubator. And that is to sort of save their life and give them a protected environment in which they can begin their first few days of life while they blah, 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 can be looked after and otherwise taken care of and so forth. Is the incubator Longin, a good idea? Yes. Is that the way to live for the rest of your life? I don't think so. Your life is ridiculously and artificially and in every way thoroughly limited if you live in the glass incubator, the bubble, for the rest of your life. If you want to do it, go right ahead. But what I'm offering is the opposite. Meet 0 expats while you're here. Learn the basic Vietnamese in one day. Ultimately, make it happen. Be a champion. Get after it. Meet the local folks. When you need something, don't check the expat forum. When you need a fan, need a motorbike, need to find a good hairdresser, need to buy a table, don't check the forums. Walk onto the street, look left, look right, and ask the nearest friendly Vietnamese person you can find. And they're all friendly. That's the way to roll. Anyway, guys, I know I was rambling a lot. That's the idea here. I just want you all to know there's more ways to live than in the bubble. There's a lot of easy ways out of that. There's a lot of other ways of looking at the world. There's a lot of beauty that could be appreciated if you do it right. So, in closing, I want to say best of luck to y'all. And I hope that when you come to Vietnam, it's an amazing experience. If you're here for a week, 2 weeks, a month, the bubble would be a good way to jump in. It's a good starting point. If you want to live here, this comfortable spot will mess you up forever and will rob you from the beauty that this country could offer you. Either way, enjoy your damn selves. Thanks, y'all, for joining me. And we'll see you next time. Subscribe if you like what we're getting at. Subscribe if this would be something you would enjoy. Subscribe if this is a place you want to be. Pablo? Yep. Oh, Mike, you're going to arrive on, November 28th. You just might, maybe, if you ask right, convince me to go down there with you. Yeah. Found out flights are like $30 round trip for me to Saigon. And that's where you're landing. Anyway, just saying. Cheers, Pablo. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you around, y'all. Peace.